Hello everyone and welcome to Autocrat. This is episode 85, Aeneid part 5, From Mercy to Fury.
That's intriguing. Also, we're so close to episode 100. These numbers are getting scarily high.
They are, aren't they? In this episode, we'll be covering book 9 and 10 of the Aeneid. And spoiler alert, Aeneas doesn't actually show up until book 10.
Oh.
So please grab a tea, sit back and relax.
Alright.
As much as you can with what's coming. So let's open with book 9. Aeneas is absent because, as you may remember, he is seeking allies among Evander and the Etruscans.
Ah, yes.
Juno, therefore, seizes the opportunity and the chance to ignite war. Like, you know.
Right.
She wants war. She's tired of Aeneas.
Yeah.
She sends Iris to Turnus, urging him to strike while the Trojan leader is away.
Right, so the jilted boyfriend is getting a divine messenger. Got it.
Turnus immediately rallies his Rutulians and marches on the camp. Now, following Aeneas' instructions that were given to them priorly, the Trojans refuse open battle and withdraw behind their fortification.
I mean, that's sensible.
It is sensible.
We'll see if the Trojans and their descendants continue this streak of behaving sensibly across their history. I doubt they will.
You might be right. But in the meantime, frustrated by the defenses, Turnus attempts to destroy the Trojan fleet. Yet the ships built from the sacred pines of Cybele's grove on Mount Ida are protected by a divine promise.
Wow.
Now, do you know who Cybele is?
Ah, I did know this, and it is in one of my source books. If I'm wrong, I'll put it in the description, but is she connected to the harvest in some way?
A bit. She's to do with fertility as well.
Okay.
Like, she's a bit like a mother of gods, in a sense.
Right. So a bit like Eilethia was for the Greeks.
Yeah. The story of the promise is that years earlier, Cybele, who knows, had asked Jupiter to preserve them as in the ships. Now, as the Rutulians set them alight, the vessel plunged beneath the waves and re-emerged as sea nymph.
Right, I'm not sure that that's better from the Trojan perspective.
The Latins are unsettled, but Turnus interprets the omen as favourable. The Trojans, he reasons, have lost their means of escape. He delays further assault until morning, and the Latins encamp around the fortress.
So is it Latins versus Trojans currently?
Yeah.
Got it. It was confusing me.
Me too.
Cool.
Now, as a little side note,
Okay.
the transformation of the ships reflects a Roman ritual which concerns sacred groves, or lucus.
Right.
And Cybele, who is the Magna Mater, so the mother of God, was formally introduced to Rome in about 204 BCE.
Okay.
But Virgil puts the whole cult around her in the Trojan origin.
Okay, so Virgil is like the author of every film franchise ever when they reinvent themselves.
Yeah.
So actually, no, this was way earlier. You just didn't know.
And I've also found that there are people who say that the metamorphosis of the ships into nymph dramatized the divine protection of Aeneas' mission and foreshadow Rome's own inviolability.
Okay. I've just realised I have no idea if Ovid ever talked about this story. Everyone's favourite ADHD boy would have had something to say about that, surely. Anyway,
tangent aside,
Yep.
there will be more.
Oh, good.
We should do a tangent jingle.
You know what? I will get the jingle jangler on that.
Sidebar. Inside the camp, the companions, Nisus and Euralius, introduced a bit earlier in the funeral games, if you remember.
I didn't, but thank you.
They volunteered to slip through enemy lines and carry word to Aeneas about what's happening.
Gasp! Is he going to be relevant for once?
And it is with the blessing of the Trojan elders and Ascanius' promise of reward that they set out during the night.
It's kind of a brave move, actually, sending people out, probably saying, right, do you pinky promise to come back to this siege that we're all currently in and actively go back into the city that's starving to death?
They pass through the sleeping Latin army And as they do that, they slaughter many warriors.
Wait a minute. This is the Iliad now.
Yeah, it is.
This is Odysseus and Diomedes running around killing people.
But their mission actually falters when Eurelius, slowed by the spoils he has taken, is spotted by returning horsemen.
Oh, that's brilliant. Nyssa saying, no, Euryalus, you don't need the statue. I don't care that it's gold covered. You don't need it. Put it down. That doesn't mean pick up the other statue.
The Rutulian captain, Volscens, intercepts them with a large force. Nissus escapes briefly but returns to rescue his friend.
That's nice.
Yes, it is. In the clash, Volscens kills Aurelius.
Oh.
And so Nissus avenges him by slaying Volscens only to fall himself.
Oh, he definitely bashed his head in with that statue that Euryalus died defending.
At dawn, now this is a bit grim, the Latins display the severed heads of the two Trojans on stakes before the camp, filling their comrades with grief.
Oh. I will say, though, if you're not a fan of gruesome things in history, maybe Roman history isn't for you. I will say this as a little teaser. I've been researching past episode 100 to get a bit of a backlog going for us, if I can. And there may be some dismemberment involved at some point.
Well, good luck to us.
Yeah.
Now, little sidebar again. Sidebar. Sidebar.
Yes.
Because I read a bit more about Nissus and Eurelius, and
were they dating?
Well, I'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
So, this little episode between them recalls a bit of what we call Homeric Kleos.
Right.
But twisted into tragedy.
Okay, so is it a bit more like the story of Achilles and Patroclus then? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because their friendship of those two is often read as homoerotic, and it embodies like useful devotion and martial ambition.
Right.
And for Augustan readers, their deaths underscore the cost of loyalty and the futility of reckless heroism, which contrast a lot with the disciplined pietas of Aeneas.
Okay. Right, cut back to Virgil's writing room. Augustus is still standing over him. He's gripping his hand so hard now the knuckles are actually turning white. And he's writing, "Don't try and be a hero. You will die."
Now, in the morning or a bit later, when the Trojans see the, spikes,
Yep.
well, battle resumes.
It would do.
Or just, starts, despite Aeneas telling them to not start a battle. And
Oh, yeah.
Therefore, the Latins storm the trenches and ramparts while the Trojans rain missiles from above.
Yep.
A great tower outside the gate is set ablaze and collapses, killing many defenders. Amid the chaos, Ascanius takes his first life in war, shooting Romulus, which is Turnus' brothers-in-law, through the head.
Probably all the while he's thinking, Remulus. I like that name, but I'm not fully sold on it for some reason.
Yeah.
Do we know how old Ascanius actually is?
Well, he was a child during the war thing with Troy. And
Right.
It's been about 10 to 15 years, I'd say, so he's probably in his early 20s.
Good. Remulus didn't get beaten up by a toddler is what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what I think, anyway.
Right, yeah. I mean, you probably get to make up the age he was when he left Troy, and I will put that in our chronology.
Sure.
So let's say 5.
Apollo appears to him, as in Ascanius, and he tells, Ascanius that he has good skill, but tells him to refrain from further killing because his destiny is to bring peace, not bloodshed.
That's really cheeky on Apollo's part, given that he literally appeared in battle to kill Achilles during the Trojan War.
Do you want another sidebar?
Let me think about it. Yes.
Sidebar. Ascanius is the legendary ancestor of the Julian line.
Yep. Oh, you've done spoilers for my episodes.
Sorry.
Fine, I guess you can carry on.
It initiation into war, followed by Apollo's injunction to pursue peace, mirror Augustus' own propaganda.
Don't be a hero!
Yep. Rome's war are justified only as preludes to lasting order, and therefore Virgil aligns Ascanius' role with the Augustan mission of Pax Romana.
Yeah.
You may have heard of this.
Yes. Ow, Augustus, stop pinching me, I'm gonna write it. Yeah, I know, Apollo turns up. Ow, ow, stop it. I got it, Pax Romana.
Right. Seeking to provoke the enemy, the Trojan brothers, Pandarus and Bitias, fling open the gates. At first, the Trojans surge out and drive the Latins back, but Turnus rallies his men and personally slays Bitias. Pandarus, realizing the danger, closes the gate again, but it's too late. Turnus has slipped inside.
Oh, yeah, you got one foot in the door, and then, you try to open the door to close it on him. He pushes his foot a little bit further in. They both dodge to the same side to try and get around each other. It's a whole bit.
Yeah, a fierce struggle follows. Turnus, aided by Juno, cuts down some Trojans in a frenzy, while Pandarus falls to his sword. Because lots of people are starting to be against him and to get at him, Turnus is forced to retreat.
Right.
And in a final daring act, he leaps fully armed into the Tiber and swims back to his allies, leaving the Trojan camp bloodied but unbroken. Tangent time.
Ah!
Side bar, side bar.
Another one.
Yeah, there's many. I hope you don't mind.
No.
Turnus' infiltration dramatizes heroic valor, but also his recklessness. His single-handed assault recalls Homeric Aristia, but unlike Aeneas' divine-sanctioned mission, Turnus' fury is destabilizing. His leap into the Tiber evokes both escape and symbolic cleansing, but it also underscores his inability to secure lasting victory.
Nice. Now, what is Aristea?
A warrior speak of glory.
Right, so we're basically saying Turnus bad, Aeneas good with this whole scene. Okay, nice.
That brings us to the end of book 9, with the battle still kind of raging and Aeneas nowhere to be seen. So we hope he comes home soon.
Cut to Aeneas, he's ordering a coffee somewhere in the middle of Italy, there's a long queue, he checks his watch. They're taking forever. Can we hurry up, please? Cut back to the battle, violent gore. Back to Aeneas again. He's got his macchiato now. Sitting down, taking a sip. More battle, anyway.
Alright, on to book 10.
Okay.
We're in Olympus.
We are?
Yes.
We're in a recording studio.
Exactly. From Olympus, Jupiter observes the carnage in Italy. He had expected the Trojans to settle peacefully, but he calls a council of the gods.
Yeah.
Venus blames Juno for Aeneas' suffering. I mean, she's not wrong.
No.
But Juno retorts that she did not compel Aeneas to come to Italy. She did not.
No.
She tried to prevent him from doing it.
They're both being technically correct, the worst kind of correct.
But Jupiter gets irritated by their stupid quarrel, and he decrees, and keep your mind on that decree,
Yep.
that from now, no god may intervene at all.
Ooh.
The war's outcome is left to fate alone and to human valor.
Mars, look at me. Uncross your fingers. No, it still counts. Takesies backsies aren't allowed.
So keep your mind on that decree, alright?
Okay.
Now, that decree, it reflects the tension between fatum, what is destiny, and divine will. Jupiter's withdrawal dramatized a shift, from divine partnership to a more Augustan vision of history, where Rome's rise is inevitable.
Okay. Did you just hit me with a mini tangent?
Kind of.
I was wondering, actually, because you do see the gods a lot less directly as time goes on, so maybe this is the start of the gods receding from humanity a little bit.
Could be. Meanwhile, the fighting outside the Trojan camp intensifies. And that's when Aeneas shows back up. He sails back with 30 ships carrying Etruscans allies under Tarchon and Evander's Arcadians.
Hey guys, I got the coffees. Oh my goodness, what's going on?
During the night as well, the sea nymphs, the one that were once the Trojan ship from a bit ago,
Oh yeah.
they appear and their leader, Simodosia, warns Aeneas of the siege.
How does she already have a name?
Because she does.
And also, it's Chekhov's sea nymphs. They show up relevantly. That's so unlike a lot of Greek mythological writing where things just disappear and are never mentioned again.
At dawn, the Trojans rejoice at the arrival of, Aeneas in shining armor. Remember, he just got a new one.
Oh yeah, it was with his coffee.
Yeah.
You know, when you get stamped 9 coffees on your card, you get a free set of armor. Also, he's definitely being Neoptolemus right now, just showing up in shining armor halfway through a siege.
As soon as Aeneas lands, Turnus rallies his men, attacks him, and a great battle begins. It's gonna be very good.
Yep.
Pallas, who is Evander's youthful son,
Oh yes, the one who I hoped that nothing bad happened to him.
inspires the Arcadians and confronts Lausus, who is Mezentius' son.
People really can't name people in this time period, can they?
And it's like a bit of a parallel because it's two youths going at it.
Yeah.
So like it's also the youth can be valorous.
Yeah. Younger generation can beat each other up the same way older generation can. Hooray.
Yeah. And, well, both are destined to die, unfortunately.
Oh.
Because soon after the confrontation, Turnus challenges Pallas in a single combat. Pallas' spear wounds Turnus slightly, but Turnus' lance pierces Pallas' chest, killing him.
Ow.
Yeah.
Hey, it's another spear death.
Yeah,
Throwback to the Iliad, and it wasn't even in a stupid place.
Turnus then strips Pallas' ornate sword belt as a trophy.
Ow.
Now there's a little tangent about the belt.
Yes.
Side bar, side bar.
I have
This
my
is
own.
really interesting.
I have my own sidebar question for you after this, but please continue.
The belt depicts the slaughter of the Danaid's husbands, a scene of youthful massacre. Its symbolism foreshadows Turnus' doom,
Yep.
which is a big spoiler that we kind of knew what would come.
It's called the Aeneid, not the Turniad.
But yeah, like it shows that as well, he's arrogant, and that we later seal his fate in book 12.
Right. I mean, kind of a counter tangent now.
Counter sidebar.
I was wondering if this strong emphasis on old versus young valour might be because Augustus is the grandnephew and adopted son of Julius Caesar.
It could be.
So it's this idea of the younger generation is every bit as good as the older generation. Stop pinching me, Augustus!
I haven't seen that.
I have no idea if that's actually true. I'm basing that on nothing, but I thought it was interesting.
Now, news of Pallas' death reaches Aeneas. Now, he is consumed by furor.
Yeah.
He cuts a bloody path through the Latins, ignoring pleas for mercy. Hence why the episode is called Mercy to Fury.
Ah.
Because he was merciful before in the books. He
Yeah.
was more calm. Now he's furious.
Yeah.
His rage recalls Achilles
Ooh.
after Patroclus' death, but Virgil emphasizes the destructive, almost un-Roman excess of wrath.
I mean, hey, Virgil would have lived during a time where Romans were constantly killing each other, so a bit of an emphasis on being chill would also have been quite nice.
Now, you remember that decree I just told you about?
The one where no god or goddess can get involved. Look at me, Mars, uncross your fingers. No, seriously, I mean it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, seeing Turnus endangered, Juno begs Jupiter to spare him.
Yep.
And Jupiter agrees.
Oh.
So, good decree, lasted 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, it probably says all gods except me. Do as I say, don't do as I do.
So Juno conjures a phantom Aeneas. Turnus pursues the illusion onto a ship, which Juno sets adrift. Thus, Turnus is removed from battle, raging helplessly at the sea for now.
Oh, that's fantastic. I mean, we've already had Aeneas get swooped up in a cloud a bajillion times. This is kind of like that, but new. Do you reckon he shouted up to the crow's nest saying, "Can you turn the ship round?" And they said, "Thank you for contacting this boat incorporated. Your call is very important to us.
We're experiencing a higher volume of calls than usual.
Yes, please stay on the deck and we will be back to you within 2 to 3 battle days." In the meantime, we're going to play some music on the panpipes to keep you occupied.
While Turnus is gone, Mezentius takes the field.
Is he the Etruscan guy?
He is the dad, I'm pretty sure.
He's the dad of Lausus, but I've forgotten who... Mezentius, Rutulian guy. Isn't he? Yes. Yes, he is. You may have noticed there's a lot of names this episode.
He slays many people until Aeneas wounds him.
Ow, my little finger.
But Lausus, his son,
Oh, yeah.
intervenes to protect his dad.
Yes, hooray.
But Aeneas kills the young boy despite warning him off.
Oh.
But struck by a bit of pity, Aeneas honors Lausus' courage and filial devotion.
I feel like that's not really great, though. Sure, nice he feels bad about murdering the son, but at the same time, you still stabbed him in the face.
Mezentius, obviously, is grief-stricken and ashamed that his son died for him, and he resolved to face Aeneas. And even though he is wounded, he mounts his horse Rebus, yes, the horse has a name, and fights very bravely. Aeneas kills the horse.
No, Rebus!
And pins Mezentius beneath it. Before dying, Mezentius begs to be buried with Lausus as a final act of humility and reconciliation.
But where's Rebus buried?
In a field.
Rebus.
Side bar, side bar. Lausus embodies what we call pietas towards his dad, contrasting with Mezentius in piety.
Okay.
His death humanizes Mezentius, who shifts from cruel tyrant to tragic dad. And Virgil uses this arc to explore Roman ideals of filial devotion and the redemptive power of grief.
Okay, again, Augustus avenged Julius Caesar, his adoptive father. So again, he's now fully just grabbing Virgil's hand going, it is okay to honour your dad if he dies unfairly. Got that, Virgil? Ow, stop hitting me. His hair's starting to fall out. He starts giggling during the night. Bloodshot eyes. He's very stressed.
And this, lovely people, brings us to the end of this episode.
No.
What do you mean, no?
I mean, no.
Alright.
This is because I figured I would hijack the end of this episode.
Oh, will you now?
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Alright, please do go on.
I mean, there's something the listeners can do about it. They can pause, but please don't. The reason for this is because we've brought up the Etruscans a few times now, and I thought we should probably introduce them a bit more formally, seeing as, oh boy, we're going to be dealing with the Etruscans a lot down the line.
Alright, tangent dingle then.
Yes, but louder. Or with trumpets or something.
Sure. This goes on about the Etruscans.
So, as mentioned, the Etruscans come up a fair bit in Roman history. In point of fact, the Emperor Claudius wrote up 20 books on their history.
Wow.
Alexandria would have these books read out in his honour in the old wing of their library, while his parallel Carthaginian history was read out in a newly constructed wing. Can't help but thinking they might not have been as keen on reading them out if he wasn't Emperor of the Romans, but
Yeah.
Still nice to have good reviews. Thucydides also mentions them in his Greek history of the Peloponnesian War, albeit very briefly.
Right, so who are they then?
Well, they're not originally native to Italy, because no one seems to be. Now, this isn't that unusual. The Latins themselves arrived in Italy from the centre of Europe in about 2000 BCE, while the Greeks arrived in the south from, well, Greece in about 750 BCE, so you've got some Greek colonies along the south coast. The Etruscans might have their origins in Anatolia before they moved to the Italian peninsula, so modern-day Turkey.
Yeah.
However, this appears to be contentious, because one of my books from, I think about 2005, shows Africa as their point of origin in the map.
Okay.
Now, you might have realised Africa and Anatolia are not the same place.
Yes.
This therefore poses a problem. In fact, it wasn't even certain for a long time whether they were native to Italy or not. It seems to be settled more one way now, but as you can see, it's a little bit murky.
Yeah.
There's a 2007 paper which wanted to put this issue to bed, and it examined mitochondrial DNA from Tuscan cows to see if we can find out where the Etruscans would have come from, because, well, the cows follow the people after all. They found that 6 of the 12 lineages they sampled had genetic affinity to Anatolia, the Middle East, and the Balkans. So basically, we think Anatolia is more likely the point of origin. Now, this isn't just in modern sources either. Herodotus briefly mentions this, giving their origins in Lydia, in the west of Anatolia. And during the reign of somebody called Attis, son of Manes, this area had a famine. This famine was not great because it carried on for 18 years. And even apparently trying to distract themselves from the famine by inventing games such as dice didn't work.
Okay.
Oh no, we're all dying, let's play a game of dice. I wonder why that didn't work, government of Lydia. So, the king decided the people would draw lots to see who would stay and who would leave. They were dividing the population into 2 halves. One half of you, get out, we can't feed you. He would be in charge of the people who stayed, while his son Tyrannus would lead the exiles. Tyrannus took his half south towards Smyrna, then set sail, finally after a sort of Odyssey Aeneid-like journey, ending up in Umbria in Italy, and renaming themselves Tyrrhenians after the prince who ruled them. So that's all well and good. We've got them in Italy.
Okay.
Now what? The Etruscans are apparently from something called the Villanovan culture, based in Tuscany in the 700s BCE. And you may have noticed the name Tuscany bears an awful lot of similar to the name Etruscans.
It does.
And that's for a reason. The name Tuscany or Etruria comes directly from these people. Now, Italy was at the time still a relative backwater compared to the eastern Mediterranean, even though the Etruscans were the dominant culture. And we don't know a lot about who was living there exactly before the Etruscans arrived on the scene. Etruscan culture first has a material evidence between the Arno and Tiber rivers in about 800 BCE. And we think the people who showed up there might have been people who were testing the waters, seeing whether it's worth colonizing or not, worth the hassle. Now, the Etruscans were talented in working with bronze, iron, and other valuable metals. They became rich due to trading because of their plentiful supplies of iron and copper, and they also had a coast which had a lot of natural ports, so good for business. Now, you would have liked Etruscan culture.
I would.
Because it had a strong element of fantasy in it.
That's lovely.
We see this in things such as a bronze chimera and demon masks.
Yay.
I have no other context for the demon masks. There probably is one, but make up your own. Play along at home. The Etruscans were also famous for their dancing, their flute playing, their practicing divination and trying to tell the future, that kind of thing. Now, the Romans borrowed quite a bit of stuff from the Etruscans. They based their cities on a grid plan, just as the Etruscans did, and their style of temple building would be borrowed from both the Etruscans and the Greeks. However, we have a civilization, but what we don't have is one centralized state.
Okay.
This was a civilization, not a kingdom. They instead created cities which were ruled over by kings, a bit like Greek city-states, and obviously they punched each other a lot. Obviously they did. Now, the Etruscan cities include places like Veii, Tarquinii, and Volci, or Volci, and we will come back to at least some of these, I know that for a fact, in the long term. Especially Veii, keep your eye on that one.
I will.
Now, this mode of government the Etruscans have inspired the Latins to also found city-states, including a certain city on the banks of the river Tiber we're going to be dealing with very shortly. I don't know if you've heard of it, it's got a weird name, it's like Rome, Ramah. I don't know, it's one of these obscure cities that kind of faded out of popular knowledge.
Yes, I'm sure it did.
Now, there were 12 leading Etruscan cities which were bonded together in a confederation. They obviously squabbled between themselves, and we don't know what any of the 12 cities were called. As a generalization, there was a split between south and north, but we have no more real information than that. Now, the Etruscans needed to keep the Latins on side in order to expand further down the coastline towards the south. We'll see how that goes in future episodes.
Okay.
And this is because they pushed their power further south down the boot of Italy towards the river Tiber. And actually, spoilers, The Etruscans will dominate Rome between about 615 and 510 BCE, with the last Roman king being Etruscan in origin. At their height, this culture controlled everything from the Po Valley, which basically runs west to east in the area where Italy begins to narrow into a boot, right? To Naples in the south, so a lot of Italy. However, during the 500s BCE, they will fight against the Greeks in Italy for control of the trade routes. They would ally themselves with the Carthaginians, again, a name we'll come back to, and we have, in fact, already dealt with, and they won some of these fights. But they then had to deal with some crises. One of these was related to Rome in 509 BCE, and that's all I'll say for now. But in about 474, their navy also gets destroyed, the might of the Etruscans dwindles, they suffer an invasion by the Celts at one point, and, Rome's pushing back against them, so they were basically annihilated by the middle of the 300s BCE. The Greeks called the Etruscans Trusanoi, while the Romans called them Etrusci or Tusci, but they themselves called themselves the Ravenna.
Alright.
That's quite different, not sure how that ended up being the case. Now, interestingly, the Etruscans also see Aeneas as their founder.
Do they?
Or one of them. It's very, very messy. There is a bit more to this. This idea of the Romans being rooted in Greek or multinational origins came via the Etruscans, so they gave them this earliest part of their mythology. Now, the Etruscans had one particular idea of Aeneas' role, right? A founder. And the Greeks saw him as an explorer in the vein of Odysseus, or, Ulysses, and that name actually comes from Etruscan. And it's in the city of Rome that these two viewpoints combine to give us the story we are currently seeing in the Aeneid, an explorer turned founder. We see this kind of thing apparently reflected in older sources, yada yada yada. But basically the Etruscans have several possible founders. You have one story where Odysseus is their founder, one story where you've got Aeneas as the founder, and one where it's this Tyrannus guy, so it's very messy. Final interesting note for you.
Yeah.
Odysseus, in the Theogony, has several sons with Circe. You remember the sorcerer from the Odyssey?
I do.
One of them is called Latinus.
Yeah.
So just to add to your really messy family tree of Latinus, he might be Odysseus' kid.
Yeah, I did read about that.
So, that's the Etruscans.
Very interesting.
That's probably a lot of information to throw at you, but I thought it's better we deal with who these people are now rather than when we're finishing up with them and go, we never actually covered that.
Fair enough.
So hey, I thought I'd ambush you at the end of the episode.
Well, thank you very much for hijacking the episode.
You're welcome.
And we'll see everyone next time for the last part of the Aeneid.
Ooh.
And maybe another hijacking for all I know at this point.
To be fair, you'll probably hijack some of my episodes.
Of course I will.
Please do. There's a lot of carnage.
Alright.
We'll need some sanity being kept in it.
And on that note, I hope everyone has a great week.
Yeah, thank you all for listening and have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.